Yeah, please start.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. A warm welcome to day 3 of the third International Conference and Pop Festival for Youth-Led Climate Action 2021. We are delighted to have you all join us for one of the biggest youth-led events for climate action. My name is Priyanka Prakash and I'm from India. And I'm very excited to welcome you all to the Ocean Project presentation session. In this session, youth leaders from various countries will present their ocean action and advocacy projects and attempt to showcase the positive impact that their approaches can have on protecting ocean health and its ecosystem. Before we begin, just a few indicators. Kindly keep your microphone switched off to avoid background noise. Please feel free to use the Zoom chat to send in your questions, and our facilitators will help us coordinate to respond to your queries. We will be sharing the social media handles in the chat to keep you informed about the future activities. You can also see the hashtags in the chat that you can use in case you want to share any of the posts on your social media accounts. We'll also be sharing a link through which you can sign up to be a part of the POP movement. And we will also be sharing a link to the special workshop that the POP partners are organizing during the course of the POP festival. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us to this wonderful session. A very warm welcome to the evaluators as well for joining us, and a warm welcome to all the youth leaders and participants that have joined us here today to present their projects. With this, I hand it over to Anna to take over the session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you to everyone who's here with us. I'm very excited about this session. Before we begin, I would just like to introduce our moderators for the session. We have Dr. Pedro Francisco Rodriguez, who's here with us, and we also have Dr. Dalila Aldana. After each project presentation, we will be handing it over to the evaluators who will be able to ask questions if they have any. So without further ado, I think it'd be perfect to introduce our first speaker for the day. Her name is Her Desai from the Irvis Foundation and the Blue Warriors Club in India. Her, you have 10 minutes to present your project.
I will just be sharing the screen on their behalf. 1 second.
Okay, so I'm going to be starting. Can everybody hear me? Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Today we'll be presenting the Irvis Blue Warriors Club. A bit about the Irvis Foundation. Irvis Foundation is dedicated to tackling the marine pollution crisis, as well as doing ocean advocacy and literacy for youth leaders. Next slide, please. Okay, so 5 of us will be presenting today. I'm Ved Sanyal, and I have been interested in the climate crisis for over 2 years now. And I heard about Irvis from my friend Hazik, who came up with the organization like 7 years back, I think. I don't remember, but I am happy to be affiliated with Irvis. Here, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, this is me, Hiri Desai, a 14-year-old studying in grade 9 Fountainhead School, Surat, and I aim to bring a real change in the environment by coming up with ways to reduce plastic pollution.
Hi, I'm Presi, and I'm a 12-year-old studying in Fountainhead School, Surat. I yearn to be a change maker and pursue a cleaner and sustainable future for our planet Earth.
Hello, I'm Arav Bansari. I'm a 14-year-old and I'm from Fountainhead School, Surat. So my main aim is to make changes in the world so that we can live a better life.
Is Hazik here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Hazik Kazi. I am 14 years old. I study with Wade in Indus International School, Pune. I'm the co-founder of the Irvis Foundation and inventor of Irvis the ship. I'm interested in math, science, and the environment.
Let me talk about the Blue Warriors Club concept. So we have our club divided into 2 parts. First is the phase 1, and the second is the phase 2. In phase 1, we the youth leaders organized an 8-session program, which were held virtually, and we had students that were selected through an application process. Next, the youth leaders and the club leaders, we engaged in some important discussions on issues regarding marine environment, plastic pollution, and we also explored some solutions. Some of the topics that we discussed were policy making and health, how plastic pollution affects the health of humans and living creatures. And we discussed on a lot more topics. Towards the end of the program, we also worked on developing an action plan together, which for the year ahead, which leads us to the phase two. Phase two began with posting. So after the sessions, the club worked together to organize various awareness and action campaigns every month. So that would be on a monthly basis, and every month the youth leaders will be organizing a club meeting, which would discuss about what kind of action we'll be doing through in the month, and then we would also assess our impact by reflecting on the action. Finally, to culminate the club at the end of the year, we will be organizing a Blue Warriors conclave, which will witness dialogues, and the club leaders will be presenting their projects, which were done throughout the whole year, and we will be also inviting experts, which will be concluded with an award ceremony. Moving further.
Fountainhead Club is led by me, Arav and Prayasi. We have completed our 8 ocean literacy and capacity building sessions with 6 students and launched our action plan for the year in the month of May with social media awareness campaigns.
In English International School, it was led by me and Ved. Fountainhead, we had about 8 ocean literacy and capacity building sessions. We had a bigger batch with 15 students. This also led to very interactive sessions with a lot of active people. And the one difference from Fountainhead was that we had our students to submit individual research assignments, which could be on any topic. And one has also been taken to be published in the WSTF forum. Our group action is yet to start, and it will begin in June.
Moving on towards the Fountainhead Blue Warriors Club.
Yeah, so this was the phase one. So phase one overall helped us build our theoretical knowledge and stronger our team bond. In in 2 of our sessions, we had experts, Dr. Ash Pachori and Anna Han Hussain. They joined us to discuss the role of policy making, implementation, and effects of plastic on our health and lifestyle respectively. So this is one of the mind map which we made during the end of the month.
Here is how our phase 2 action plan for the year looks like. Every month, we will be taking up an action which has already started from the month of May. Our action for this month is to organize a virtual competition on creating best out of waste models, which is currently on its planning stage. Similarly, we have planned till the month of January. Tree plantation and social media campaign are ongoing actions.
Talking about the actions that we are taking, so we began with the May month. As you mentioned, we created an Instagram account. We spread awareness about the issue we are focusing on, and we grew up to 108 followers only within 30 days by posting more than 22 posts. And we also built a lot of engagement and interaction with the audience. Some of the challenges that we faced was to generate the ideas for follower engagement. So we could not interact with the audience pretty well, but we managed to do it nicely later on. We also had a little bit of issue in collaborating within the team members, but we managed through it. And we we faced challenge during to come up with a systematic plan, but we also planned it well.
Okay, so
Now we
next we
will
come
move
to
on
the
to.
yeah.
Oh yes,
Next we come to the Indus International School plan in progress. So our group was a relatively more interactive group, and I think almost all the sessions overshot in terms of time. But apart from that, we had three main types of activities. One was discussion based, some were individual based, and then there were expert sessions. And I think the important part of our club was that we explored a lot of conceptual questions and debatable questions. One that you can see on the screen is plastic a boon or a bane? And I think these stimulating questions had an impact on how much our students actually learned. We also debated on whether industries should take charge of the plastic crisis or should customers take charge, and things like these. We also, so while these group activities and discussions were on our own, we also had experts come in, like Christina Gabetti, who helped us channel our thoughts and give us a background, give us information on which we could build our thoughts further. And I think that Hazik and I also got to learn a lot from the students themselves.
So at the end of the 8 courses, everyone was supposed to submit some assignments, which was basically a small write-up or a kind of research paper or research paper abstract, which they had to on any kind of topic. So this it was not just limited to plastic pollution, but the students can work on something like climate change or land pollution. So the students had also had 2 options to either create a abstract for a research paper for a kind of research that they will do in the future, or write about some kind of idea that they have, like an initiative or a kind of invention that they have, that they want to solve that particular problem that they have chosen. So in front of you are 2 such examples of them. One by Abia Syed about environmental feminism, and the second one is by Advita Karnad on LEDCs and climate change.
So just like Fountainhead, Indus also has projects that are yet to begin. With the help of our discussions and Dr. Ash, who came in the last session, we were able to come up with 2 ideas. One is where we create a centralized business platform, because we realized that a lot of people want to switch to eco-friendly products, but just can't because they don't know how to. And the other project is a science-based project, which tackles the problem of oil spills, which is a major threat to the marine ecosystem, and essentially coming up with a particular substance that can absorb oil effectively. And not only can this act as a second layer of protection on the ship itself, but it can also help uh, mitigate an oil spill if it were to surpass both the layers of protection. And that is the end of our presentation. We are now open to questions.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I would now like to hand it over to our panel of evaluators. We also have Dr. Diana who joined us. So Dr. Pedro, Dr. Dalila, and Dr. Diana, if you have any questions, please feel free to open your microphone.
Yes, let me say congratulations. It's amazing, your project. The information is crucial. Is very important, and your club is very good. And let me ask you about the response of the people of your club. What is your sense about that?
So if I were to answer that for Indus, I think a lot of people were actually interested, because what we realized is that when we have specific climate change workshops, a lot of people lose interest just because it's termed with climate change or it's way too much in their faces. Because for a student in the school who has Netflix beside them, why are they going to listen to us? But I think that the model of discussions with questions that actually made them think and experts who were able to communicate their thoughts. I think a lot of people were actually drawn to the course. And like in Indus, we had about 20 registrations, but 6 didn't participate. And that's all, they're always going to have people who don't participate. But I think a lot of people were interested, and that showed in in the assignments that they sent, because it showed that they had taken an interest and they did their own research. So I think it was a pretty interesting experience for us and for them.
For example, in the section of the environment feminists, I very surprised me for the percent of the contribution for the waste is important. What was the reaction of the woman about this information? The environmental feminist.
I think all of them had, so in particular, the person who wrote the environmentalism, that particular essay, she actually has a different business of her own, where she sells cosmetics that are eco-friendly and plastic-free. But I think in an overall sense, a lot of people were shocked with the data, just like we were when we originally learned about the data, because we had to present it to them. So when we had acquired our knowledge, it shocked us as well. But I think a lot of people didn't take that as a problem for them, but more as that, okay, there's a problem and we need to get to fixing it,
yes,
rather than, oh, it's a problem and I can't do anything about it. So I think that was an important difference that helped us go further.
Yes, probably this is open a new doors about the new programs and new sub-programs or themes. Thank you very much. Congratulations. It's very nice and very smart, your project and your club. What is the name? The Blue Circle Leaders. That's right.
Yeah, the club is called Blue Warriors.
The club is Blue Warriors. Yes. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pedro, for your question. I don't know if Dr. Dalila or Dr. Diana have any other questions to add.
Hi. Morning for me. Oh, Bedes, I'm surprised. Your project is beautiful. I have I don't know. I have many feelings about this project. Congratulations in the deep of my soul. You are the hope of the future. Really, I need to say your group, your Blue Warriors, thank you for your commission, for your passion. I'm very glad for your project. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana, for your input. And finally, Dr. Dalila, would you like to add anything else?
I have no question, but I appreciate a lot the presentation. Really, congratulations. The point that I appreciate the most is the organization in our team. This point is very, very important. The organization, that you have the capacity, the organize this idea, this project. So my congratulations.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So thank you to all the evaluators, and thank you to the amazing group of presenters. I think it was such an amazing presentation, and it is such an amazing project. Thank you for sharing it with us. I would now like to hand it over to our second presentation of the session, which will be led by Vet Sanyal. Vet, you have the floor.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute, I think my laptop's not responding. Sorry for the issue. Yeah, I think my laptop's stuck, but I'll start anyway. So today we'll be presenting our project called the Stimuli-Based Plastic Alert System. And before we get to what the problem is, let's talk about, before we get to what the solution is, let's talk about what the problem is. The problem that we're tackling is plastic ingestion. And essentially what happens is that animals often mistake plastic for food because it's an easy prey and doesn't move on its own. And when they eat plastic, it makes them feel full when they actually aren't, and that eventually leads to starvation. So, what is our idea? Our idea is to create a gap until we're able to get rid of plastic. Now, plastic is a resource that we use every day. Even this call requires plastic for your systems to work. And reaching a place where there is no plastic is a very, very long term goal. But we continuously have an ecological impact even until the day we get rid of plastic. And so this solution is a bridge until we reach there. What our idea is that every animal has stimuli, they respond to particular situation in different ways. And some stimuli makes them feel that a particular item or a particular situation is dangerous. So our idea is to modify plastic such to create this situation so that they don't eat plastic or they don't consider plastic to be food. What kind of stimuli are we talking about? We're talking about sonar and electric stimuli, smell, call, and even color. Now, when we came up with this project last year, I presented this last year as well. We had originally thought of making the first project custom to albatross birds. And this is because they're affected by plastic both on sea and on land, but more importantly, because they play a role of warning other species against a particular item or a particular location. And that's why we hope that it would create a ripple effect.
Yeah. Wait, would you like to share the presentation with us so that we can screen it?
Yeah, actually my laptop's not working at all. Like I can't click anything. So
while you talk, maybe you can share it with us so we can screen it from here.
Yeah, once like I'm not able to click anything. So once it starts responding, I will send you the presentation.
Okay.
Sorry for this. I have no clue what happened.
Sorry for the interruption.
So moving forward, this year in 2021, we switched to sharks. And the reason we should switch to sharks is because they are an even more important and a keystone species, so to say. But more importantly, because we know experts or we know a lot of people who are studying sharks and shark behavior. And that's why we decided to go with sharks, because we need all the help we can possibly get. Shelly, would you like to take the rest of the presentation while I try to make my laptop function?
Yes, sure. Hello, my name is Shelly. I would like to continue where we left off. So the steps we're planning to take in 2021 is basically in terms of the action plan. So we've come up with a team of people that we would like to approach.
I think I can hear you good.
Can you hear me now, sir?
I can hear you good. Could you please clarify your stand?
Can you hear me now?
Closer, please.
Could you maybe hold the mic closer to you if you're wearing a earphone?
Is this better?
Slightly better, yeah.
Yes. So where I left off, yeah, so the steps we're planning to take in 2020.
It's better. Continue, please.
Yes. So the steps we're taking this year in 2021 involves making an action plan, coming up with what we want to do in the foreseeable future. So we mainly have included primary research in the coming 1 or 2 months. Secondary research, we have a very thorough timeline, which is set with specific dates and specific tasks that we intend to accomplish. As soon as Ved can show us the presentation, it'll be there very clearly Sean. So under primary research, we want to talk to specialists who are under or related to the field of marine biologists, geologists, chemists, plastic industries, locals in the coastal region that we're looking at, waste management systems, and other people who have already tried to do this. And the secondary research would be more in terms of what we find on the internet. So research done by other people in the same field, people who tried to do the same project in different ways or anything related to the same thing. Yes. So apart from this, why we need people to invest into our project is so that we can get better resources and have more what is happening? Okay. Have more expertise in our project. Right?
I think Wade has dropped out of the meeting. Anna, would you suggest that we come back to their presentation?
Yes, of course. If you want, we can move on to the next presentation and then come back so that they can share the slides and finish their presentation.
That's okay.
No problem. Ver, and would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So sorry for those technical difficulties, but now we will go on to Ayushman Mishra, who's also here with us. Ayushman, you're muted.
I want to share the screen.
Please go ahead. We can see your screen now, Ayushman, but we can't hear you.
I'm not, Ayushman, if you can speak so we can just confirm if we can hear you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah,
yes,
we can
yes,
hear
you are.
Thank
Perfect.
You.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So Stuti will start the presentation now.
Hello everyone, I'm Stuti Mishra and I want to tell you guys about an idea and I want to put the idea in the context of solving a problem. I don't know if you notice that when people solve big problems, nobody ever tells you what goes into the thinking process, what influenced the idea, and I want to tell you what it was to me. How many people remembered here the spill in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010? Quite a few. So you might even recognize this image from that spill.
We have a double sound.
This was a big spill.
Ayushman, there's a double sound. We're not able to hear it.
American history.
Clarity.
Oil was spilling from the
you
Gulf.
Can make this sound.
Represents oil coming from 5,000 feet below the surface of the ocean coming at the top. 210 million gallons of oil spilled into the Gulf of Mexico on that day. It spilled for 87 days, that's roughly around 3 months. 1,000 animals died within the first 6 months. The devastation that it caused is still not understood. Out of all that 210 million gallons of oil, only 6 million have been collected in the Gulf. So where's the rest of it? This bothered me. When I was reading this tragedy on the internet a few months back, but I want to tell you about the way I want to solve this problem and also to solve another problem which is associated with the ocean. The problem of what we throw in our oceans, the 5 trillion piece problem of microplastics. Microplastics are everywhere, and as animals eat those plastics, it can have negative effects on them. It can also have physical impacts, blockages, abrasions, or chemical impacts, either from the chemical in the plastics leaching out or chemicals in the environment and contaminants sticking to the plastic themselves. The magnitude of the problem inspired us to do something about this. We specifically wanted to investigate an alternative method of extraction of oil from the oil spills and extraction of microplastics simultaneously from the oceans using a single mechanized system. Hence, we came up with the theory of an invention that could help make the oceans a cleaner place, an ocean cleaner called the Integrity, and it will be the world's first scalable electromagnetic remediation microplastics extraction system once implemented in the real world. You might be wondering what is the Integrity system and how this all works. So further, Aishman will explain you about everything in detail.
Hello everybody, my name is Ayushman Mishra. I am 16 years old and together with my sister, we have theorized a system that will clean up the oil space and extract the microplastics simultaneously from the oceans with very high efficiency. While the system is still on paper, it could be modified or configured based on further research and study. It all started 6 months back. We had watched a TED talk of Dr. Arden Warner, a Fermilab physicist who has developed a novel method for cleaning up of oil spills using magnetite. Magnetite is a non-toxic substance which can be spread on land and sea without posing threat to wildlife. He theorized that adding magnetic particles to the spill would form a bond between the oil and the particles, allowing the oil to be manipulated magnetically and captured more easily than the current method. This would introduce a new paradigm in the oil spill technology called electromagnetic remediation technology. So after researching for months, we theorized a system that could extract the microplastics while clearing up the oil spills in the ocean. It basically worked on the principle called electromagnetic remediation microplastic extraction technology. The principle is based on our research since the oil and the microplastics are non-polar, so they are attracted by adding magnetite powder and extracted from the oceans using an electromagnet. This forms the basis of my theorized system. This basically worked on the chemical principle of polarity, which tells that polars will attract polars and repel non-polars. Since the plastic and the oil have the same polarity, which means the plastic is attracted to oil, the oil plus magnetite form a ferrofluid containing microplastics, which could be then extracted using a magnet. We tried to check this method with some commonly found microplastics and the results were fascinating. The average extraction rate was found out to be approximately 84%, which was much effective than the current methods. Further, we did some exhaustive research to achieve our vision of integrity, which is first extract the oil from the oil spills and then use the same oil extracting the microplastics from the oceans. So here's the cross-sectional view of the theorized system and here's how it works. When the system would reach the oil spill destination in the ocean, the disc saucer attached on the top would float on the surface, gravitate to create a whirlpool, and suck the crude oil plus the ocean water towards its center and transport it via tubes to the filtration chamber where magnetite is added and mixed to extract the oil from the ocean water using the concept of polarity. Once the oil is separated from the ocean water, the clean water is then pumped out of the system and the remaining components are transported to the microplastic extraction unit. Since the oceans already contain huge amounts of microplastics in the top 9 meters of the surface, the previously collected magnetic sludge containing oil would be used in the extracting the microplastics using the same concept of polarity. The collected microplastics would be then stored inside and the transporter ships can take the collected microplastics back to the land for further processing. Our goal would be to have a whole fleet of these systems working at once, equipped with satellite communications to collect and share information. Marine scientists are becoming more and more concerned about how oils and microplastics can harm our oceans. In recent decades, the development of automated sensors has transformed the way marine sciences can inform, motivate, and identify solutions to vexing problems in ocean conservation. The development of this type of system would policy around the problem of oil spill and microplastics in the marine environment. I also think that it is especially important to remove these microplastics from the wastewater first before it reaches our wastewater treatment plants, where the microplastics potentially adhere to the solid waste and are settled out in the settlement phase of the treatment, potentially leading to microplastics being spread on agricultural land, which will be then washed into our waterways and ultimately our oceans. No matter how disastrous things look, there are always solutions, and those solutions can be simple. And using this method and removing the particles, however, should be able to scale up fairly cheaply. Further, we are looking to speak with some potential investors and scientists to get help in further improvements and also in building a working 3D computer model and also take this project on much larger scale. For more inquiries, you can connect with us on email and follow us on Instagram and Twitter for updates. We put the links in the chat section, so do check it out. So if anybody have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ayushman. That was a very interesting presentation, and I really like both ideas. I would now like to hand it over to the evaluators to see if they have any questions for you.
Yes, I have one reflection and two questions. One of them, what is the consumption of energy? Is this costly? Or what is the principal source of the energy for this equipment?
Yes, so I would like to tell that this is just a theorized system and still on paper. So we are trying to make it work using solar energy as most of the sunlight are exposed in the ocean, and also it's easily accessible using photovoltaics. So we are thinking of using solar energy as the power source.
Yes, this is the way. This is the way. And the other, we have recently paper, our recently paper to the 2021, we have a correlation for the microplastic with metals. With metals, what is did you consider the metals?
Can you repeat? I didn't understand your question actually.
Yes. In our recent publication of microplastics in fish in the dam of Valsequillo in Mexico, we found the correlation, the very, very close correlation with the microplastics and metals. Are you considering what happened with the metals coming added in the microplastics?
Actually, I didn't know about this news, but our concept is based on the concept of polarity, and according to that, the magnetite particle which is an iron oxide, it can stick to the microplastic when mixed together in oil. Since the water is polar solvent, the oil and microplastic stick together. So this system can be worked in oceans, and yes.
Yes, we have four papers about the microplastics in the sediments, water, and we find always the correlation with the metals. The metals is present in the microplastic. Probably you can theorize about the included in your research and in your proposed what happened with the metals, because it's I agree with you, it's coming and the polarity could be remove both, not only the microplastics, go with the metals. Okay, congratulations, Aishu. Thank you very much.
So thank you, and I would like to add this to my research work. So thank you for telling, sir.
Thank you so much for that wonderful insight and question, Dr. Pedro. I would now like to ask Dalila and Dr. Diana if they have any questions as well.
Hi, Ayushman. Congratulations for your proposal. I I wanna have a question. What is the cost of your equipment? What is the cost? Uh, uh, do you know what is the size and the cost for example, for one plant for wastewater treatment? Do you know?
Actually, this system is just a theory based on our research, and it's recently found out by us. And we are thinking that the cost could be approximately 30 to 40,000 US dollars, since this is a big machine, and it can filter a lot of microplastics from the oceans, and it can clean up the huge oil spills faster than current methods. So I don't know the exact current methods, but approximately it's 30 to 40 US thousand dollars.
Because I think it's more important in the treatment for water, in wastewater treatment, because in the ocean, probably have some problems with the organisms, because the bodies of the organisms have a polarity too. And I think you need research more about the effect in the sea organisms, especially in the small organisms like zooplankton and phytoplankton. But this way, I think your project, your concept is more important in the wastewater treatment, because
Yes,
because if you install this project, this equipment in the wastewater, you can't stop the rise of these contaminants in the seawater. Congratulations.
I've explained that in my presentation. I will make sure that I study more on effect on the organisms present inside the oceans. So yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, and your equipment. Thank you, Yusman. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Doctora Diana. Are there any additional questions?
In my case, I have the same question that Diana. But I add anything. The first source of contamination for microplastic is the water that all the people drink. So I think this idea is interesting, not only to clean the ocean, not only to clean the wastewater, but use this idea in the water that is destined for the human consumer, because more or less 95% the water destined for human in United States have microplastic. In Europe is more or less 80%. So I think it's a good idea for treatment the water destined for the human. This is and comes, and of course, congratulations for this presentation.
Thank you so much, Doctora Dalila, for that additional comment. We will now go on to Stephanie Evans, Melissa Chen, and Pilarium Demel, who will be presenting the Seas of Change project. Thank you.
Hello, sorry, just give me a second to share my screen. Sorry, bear with me. Sorry, I have to change a setting on my laptop to be able to share my screen. Just give me a second and I'll rejoin.
As we wait for Melissa to rejoin, I just wanted to ask the evaluators. We are running about 10 minutes late. I'm just wondering if you're okay with staying an additional 10 minutes so we can hear Vet's presentation after the Seeds of Change presentation. Thank you, Melissa. We can see your screen now.
Good, now it's loading. Now.
Awesome.
Good.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steph, and I am the founder and director of the organization Seeds of Change, which you can see on screen. And I've been running for Seeds of Change for a really long time now, and I will be sharing my experiences with you later on.
Hello, my name is Mel. Nice to meet everyone. I am the head of digital content and design. I got involved with Seeds of Change at the start of high school in 2016 and have been involved with our numerous projects since then. Currently, I manage all our social media and assist Steph with our school talks, interviews, and attend panels and speeches with her.
Hi everyone, I'm Gloria and I'm one of the content creators here at Seeds of Change. I joined the team in 2017 as a blog post writer, and since then I've attended many events and school talks with the team and helped organize various fundraising events.
Hi everyone, my name is Talara. I'm another one of the content creators at Seeds of Change. I write blog posts for our website, and I joined the team in 2018 as I got to learn a lot more about marine conservation while spreading awareness about a great cause with my friends. Since joining, I've had the pleasure of joining Steph and the others at various events, school talks, and fundraisers.
Seeds of Change began 7 years ago when I was 10 years old as Save the Dugong. At the time, I wanted to be a vet, yet was too young to attend uni or TAFE. So Plan C became starting a charity. I decided I wanted to focus on an Australian marine mammal that wasn't already receiving a lot of funds, like turtles or dolphins. So I chose dugongs. I ran a fundraiser with the support of SeaWorld Australia, and I went from there. I've never had a plan for this organisation, and opportunities have just arisen out of passion and hard work, growing beyond my wildest dreams.
In 2016, we rebranded to Seeds of Change from Save the Dugongs in order to broaden our conservation goals and align to our future projects focused on marine and environmental conservation.
In 2018, I was invited to attend dugong research trips with Dr. Janet Lanyon, SeaWorld, and Dr. Chris Brown. This was an amazing experience as I had waited so long to see actual results and recognition for my work. I even had a dugong named after me. This was also the year that we began giving talks at local schools. In 2019, I received a scholarship to attend the Ocean Heroes Boot Camp in Vancouver, Canada. This was such a valuable experience as I was able to meet so many other like-minded individuals and be inspired to continue our journey. In August, I was also asked to speak at my local council meeting in support of a motion to declare a climate emergency. My speech was extremely well received, finishing with a standing ovation and even bringing some of the audience members to tears. The motion was passed. This was one of my first ventures into direct political action, so this reception was a big confidence boost.
In November, Steph also spoke during Children Week at our state parliament, where she was able to voice her concerns about climate change to our state and federal members, as well as highlighting the impact on young people's mental health. This also began Steph's journey into completing global interviews and helped to expand our organization's opportunities. As our fundraisers continued, we chose to support Australia during the bushfires by running a fundraiser for WIRES, one of Australia's largest wildlife rescue organisations.
After quite an eventful 2019, our plans to create workshops to empower kids and their aspirations to make a change were put on hold as Australia went into lockdown. With the restrictions placed on travel, we were unable to enact our previous goals. However, we were still able to spread the message through social media, our blog posts, and completing interviews globally. We also used this time to plan future projects.
In May, Steph filmed with Ocean Youth and the Australian Seabird Rescue to create a video for World Turtle Day. We were then all able to visit the turtles at the Australian Seabird Rescue and help Ocean Youth run a fundraiser. Steph and Mel then went to watch the turtles being released back into the ocean in October. We all have a big focus on the power of education to empower youth to make tangible change. And even during a pandemic, we've been lucky enough to continue educating and mentoring young people to create a movement within their communities. This year, after COVID restrictions were eased, we were able to restart our school talks. Since starting the charity, school talks have been one of our biggest accomplishments.
Growing up with a teacher for a mother and working in education part-time since I was 10, my passion for education has always existed, but only grown since starting this program. When I started working in this industry, school strikes didn't exist, and I wanted to have a mentor to provide me with advice and inspiration. So I'm so excited that I now get to fill this role for so many youth.
In the past month, we have spoken at 3 different schools about plastic pollution and ecological footprint. And tomorrow we're also speaking at another primary school and completing a beach clean with the students afterwards. It's such a joy to see all the kids so inspired by our experiences and cool photos. And seeing them so keen to start taking action in their own communities is such an amazing feeling.
We also launched our newest Ocean View project, Ocean Views, at the start of this year. This is basically a short interview series that features youth activists from all over the globe, where we ask them all about their projects as well as what their advice would be to other aspiring young changemakers. In the midst of the pandemic, where we weren't able to collaborate with as many organizations as we had hoped, this has been such a great way to meet with new people and recognize and appreciate all the amazing things they've accomplished. Plus, we hope that hearing their amazing stories and journeys will reveal to other youth that they're never too young to get involved and that they truly can make a difference. Additionally, after attending the Ocean Heroes Bootcamp in person in 2019, Steph became a squad leader for Australia in June of 2020, when they held their first virtual bootcamp. She will also be a squad leader for all 4 virtual bootcamps this year.
The Ocean Heroes Bootcamps have been such a great experience to meet other activists and collaborate with youth globally. I have also loved expanding my mentorship experience to work with aspiring changemakers globally and guide them in the process of creating an action plan for their own project.
Last year, Steph began collaborating with the Ovis Foundation, completing an interview with them and mentoring for their new Blue Circle program, which finished in the latter half of last year. As a result, Steph and Priyanka from Ovis signed an official partnership between both organizations earlier this year. Working with the Ovis Foundation has been fabulous. We love their team and what the organization stands for, and we are looking forward to continuing to work with them in the future.
These past few months, my work has been officially recognised more than ever. I was named Young Citizen of the Year for my local government, won the Indigenous Leadership Award for students in my state, and was awarded the Youth Eco Award for my local government. This has been amazing to have the past 7 years of work finally recognised formally, and has also aided in lending us the legitimacy so many young people struggle to find.
We are also aiming to create a one-day workshop to be held in the capital cities of Australia, which will provide youth with the opportunity to educate themselves, develop the necessary skills to be an activist, network, and be inspired by other youth to create their own action plans. Fingers crossed we'll be able to hold our workshop event in the near future. Thank you so much for listening to our journey. Please feel free to ask any questions and to get in touch to collaborate at any time. Our contact details are on the slide and we'd love to meet and work with you all.
Thank you so much, Steph, Mel, Gloria, and Delaria for this amazing presentation. Congratulations on your project, and I would now like to hand it over to the evaluators to see if they have any questions for you.
Yes, Stephanie, could you please help me to define what is the power of your project? Is the information? Is the idea? Is the knowledge? What is the key of this project?
Yeah, so I started when I was 10 years old, which is quite young. So currently we're really focused on education and working in schools. As Gloria and Talara said, we've been in 4 schools this past month. So we work in schools with syllabus-based education programs that work with what the students are working with in class, tie in with their knowledge, and also provide all the students with mentorship opportunities that I wish I was provided when I was younger. But I also work with other organizations for education, speaking at events, speaking at parliaments. I've spoken at state and local parliament, so all of that thing. But currently I'm really passionate about education and also sharing other youth's journeys through our Ocean View series.
Probably the key was the motivation, no? For example, the example of your history is shared for the community. Okay, thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Diana.
Hi, Steffi and the rest of the team. What is this? The next steps for your project? I need to say your passion is contagious. Thank you for share your experience, your passion. But what is the next steps for your team, for your idea?
Yeah, thank you. That means so much to us. We're in our final year of high school, so we're all heading into university next year and studying various fields. Personally, I'm studying law, so I'm really excited to bring that legal knowledge into this work. But we're all looking to continue working in schools. Working in schools is our biggest passion, but also with COVID restrictions starting to ease, especially in Australia, we're looking to continue running those events that we loved running previously. So continue running events and fundraisers in person next year once COVID has settled down in Australia. That'd be really, really exciting. We're looking forward to that. And also running that workshop to give kids an opportunity, a one-day opportunity to have quality education, brainstorming sessions, mentorship with leaders in the field, and to set up those connections. So I think sometimes you can feel really isolated in this journey. So to have those connections set up. So that's where we're heading in the future. But as I said, I haven't really had a plan for this. Everything's come out of random opportunities. And I've planned everything else in my life. And I really like that this doesn't have to be planned, and that this is just something that I'm so passionate about and absolutely enjoy. And I love that I've been able to do it for the past 7 years. And so I'm just really excited to see where it will take us next.
Thank you. This is the example for the power of one. It convert in the power of the word. Thank you for your passion, for your team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations for all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. Dr. Dalila, would you like to add anything further?
Yes, a little question. Stephanie, could you develop how to carry out your education program?
How do I carry it out?
Yes, to develop your education program.
Yes. So as I said, I've grown up around teachers, and I started working in education. I was teaching robotics at the age of 10. So I've always been very passionate about education, always worked with young kids. So for us, we contact local schools in our area. So we live in Sydney, Australia. So we speak at primary schools in Sydney, Australia, and we contact them all once a year and we say, hey, like, this is who we are. This is what we offer. We will come and talk to you at your school for free. Gold coin donations are loved, but they're not compulsory. And we like just show like what we do, what our credentials are. Obviously the awards this year has been really helpful in building that credibility behind us, but we just contact them and call them, and any connections. Like I spoke at my old primary school a couple of weeks ago, and I'm filming with our state education department tomorrow, so we're talking at a school there. So I think those networking as well has helped, but just not being afraid to get told no and just sending an email to every single school that is within reach of us, and just presenting our ideas and being as flexible as possible with what they want from us as well.
Okay, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the team of the Seas of Change project, which I think is really cool and really amazing. And I would now like to hand it over to Ved to see if he's able to present now his project. Ved, if it would be possible for you to please take 5 minutes instead of 10, we would really appreciate it, as we are already going over time.
I hope that we don't face the issue again. So just a run through as so that we don't start off from the middle. The project is targeting the problem of plastic ingestion, which is when animals mistake plastic for food and it makes them starve to death. The idea is to modify plastic such that it invokes particular stimuli so that they consider plastic to be dangerous and avoid eating it. We were first focusing on albatross birds because each animal has a different stimuli and it's important to go one species at a time. We are now looking at sharks as our species because there is more research done in their behavior and how they function. And we also know people who have done research in them particularly. The three milestones we have at the moment are understanding what kind of response there is to stimuli by sharks. Then there is deciding what stimuli we will be using in our plastic, in our modification, and then testing and troubleshooting it in the lab. Shelly, do you want to go ahead with this section? So just to give a brief on Shelly, in 2021, I met Shelly and we decided to take the project together. And yeah, she'll take over from now.
Yes, so this year we found a team that we want to come up with. We've created an action plan which will be shown on the next slide.
Probably it's better if you execute your presentation. We see two.
Could you repeat that? I didn't understand your slide.
Yes, we have a no-mouth presentation. Your presentation.
You can see my presentation, right?
Yes, this is.
Yes, we can see it in normal display mode, not in like presentation mode, but we can.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait, I'll just take it to presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Shirley, go ahead.
Thank you.
So we've decided to attend a few courses which will give us more information about how we can go about our project. And we've also applied for the Blue Champions Award. Next, please. So as you can see over here, this is the timeline we've created for the next coming few months. So this will give us adequate amount of data that we require. So we have included primary research, secondary research, experiences, and data organization, how we're going to analyze it, our prototyping method, and eventually testing it in the market. And under each thing, we've written down the specific dates that we intend to abide by and the tasks that we'll be doing at the same time. Along with the timeline comes a budget, which will be on the next slide, Wade. So this is the budget that we have administrated so far, and it includes a very brief number obviously it'll go up and down by a little bit, but we're looking at overhead expenses inclusive. Next week. So why do we need your help? We need to get more resources to improve our project and expertise in the field, labs to prototype and test our final end result.
That is the end of our presentation. We are now open to questions.
Thank you, Wade and Shelley, for that incredible presentation. Dr. Pedro, maybe you would want to go first if you have any questions.
I want to know something more about the project. We have a very few information. I don't know what is exactly the project. Could you please explain more?
So basically, the idea is to change the composition of plastic. And the composition of, we're not exactly sure in which way we will be changing the plastic composition, but that is what the project is. We want to change it in such a way that animals consider it to be dangerous. Just like humans consider a knife to be dangerous or a scissor to be dangerous to their skin, similarly, animals also consider their surroundings to be dangerous based on particular reaction and particular stimuli. So we want to modify plastic such that they start to believe that plastic is not good for them, and that will eventually that'll make sure that they don't eat the plastic and starve to death.
Go to the way for the substitution, the injection of the plastics. But which is the alternative? We need to another technological alternative. Which one is?
Yeah, so coming up with an alternative to plastic is equally important, but until we come up with that alternative, a project like this will help reduce the impact until we come up with a solution. So getting rid of plastic is a very, very long-term problem. But until we are able to reach that stage, we need to do certain changes to avoid the death of animals until we reach that stage, which is why this project is important.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Janita, please.
Hi. I have some questions too. Your project is an idea. It's a very important idea, I know. But you say you need help to develop your project, like all the researchers. Now, Pedro, is the same. We need help to develop our project, and you need give us more information for the specific problems or specific area you need develop. I see your table for the next steps, the next area you need develop, but I think you need say us specifically what the quantity of money or the person you need involved or you need have to develop the next step in your project. The idea is very good. Congratulations for this, but you need to develop more specifically the ideas to have more impact. The idea is very, very good. Congratulations. And really, I need know more in the future for your project. I'm very glad to receive your information to help us, to help you. Okay.
So to answer that question, basically, the place where we're stuck at right now is we don't know how to understand shark behavior. So we need access to people who either have resources like archives that have studied shark behavior, or individuals who are currently studying shark behavior, because they will be able to guide us in the right direction as to what we need to study, and even if this is something that is scientifically possible. So we are kind of stuck at the current stage where we don't know where to look to understand the most amount of help at the moment.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, if that answers the question, that's where we need the most help right now.
Okay. Do you know, do you think about the some academic state with another researchers and in the university or research centers and in other parts of the world? Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. What do you think about it?
That's exactly, we tried reaching out to one expert recently who studies shark behavior in Lakshadweep in near India, but we didn't really get a response. So we're not sure where to connect next or who to reach out to. And yeah, we are looking at research institutes because they'll have the most amount of data.
Uh-huh. Maybe Bob can help you. Maybe Bob making the connection with another people. Thank you. I
Thank
think
you.
your project is have a future. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adriana. And Dr. Dalila, I don't know if you would like to add anything quickly before we finish this session.
Only a few comments. This team have a good ability to organize the different activity in the time, and this is important. This team have also a good job in to give a cost for the complete proposal, but it is necessary to develop in the first aspect, to develop the idea. I think the team have the idea, but it's I don't, in English do you say is few information in the first part, so it is necessary to present step by step the idea, this proposal, and then the second part. So it's an invitation only to develop the first part. For the rest is a good proposal, and appreciate the organization in the time and the cost. Congratulations.
Thank you for all the ideas, and yes, we will try to follow all your suggestions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you also so much. Thank you to the evaluators who were here with us today and to everyone who presented their projects. I would like to share that we have a workshop going on right now. We have just shared the information on the chat. It'll be really interesting because it'll focus on marine biodiversity and the implications for the blue economy. So if you're interested, please do join that workshop. I would really recommend it. Thank you to everyone once again, and I look forward to seeing you at the workshop and other sessions in the festival.
And it is the final for the session, that's right?
Sorry?
this is the final of the session. This is the end of
this session is now over.
I